In Yangon, the military has deployed armoured vehicles on the streets. A visceral reminder of the power it can wield. Yet it hasn't stopped people denouncing junta rule. CDM stands for Civil Disobedience Movement. Across Myanmar, from cities to townships, ordinary citizens are taking part however they can. These are acts of resistance that in some instances are happening in soldiers' direct line of sight. It's been 2 weeks since the military seized power and detained the country's civilian leader, Aung San Suu Kyi. But the people are not being cowed.
They are trying to threaten the protesters, to stop their activities, to make young people and workers who participate in the CDM scared by showing their armoured vehicles and a lot of soldiers.
I was afraid last night. We were thinking they would shoot us, as they did in the past. People are protesting for what they want. It's simple.
There are mounting fears about how the army will respond if these demonstrations continue. On Sunday night, security forces opened fire on protesters in the northern city of Myitkyina. It's unclear if they were using live rounds or rubber bullets. Many people can remember the previous decades of harsh military rule and the brutal crackdowns on peaceful pro-democracy protests of the past, including the 1988 uprising, when the army turned its weapons on civilians, killing hundreds. Even with history looming over demonstrators, they're still demanding the restoration of their democratically elected government and the release of Suu Kyi. They're using everything from going on strike, to breakdancing, to giving the three-finger salute to get their message across.
We want to demonstrate that our generation would like to cut off this military dictatorship like the way we cut off these roots in every single way that we can.
The military has declared these acts of protest illegal and punishable with jail time. Despite those threats, the pushback inside Myanmar continues, as do the calls for help from the outside.
What do we want? We need the UN to protect the country in a good way, to protect the democracy also. Democracy, that's all we want.
The US government has placed sanctions on current and former military members involved in the coup, cutting off their access to $1 billion worth of funds held in the US. Other nations are being asked to do the same.
I urge other member states to take action from imposing targeted sanctions to bilateral arms embargoes to ensuring that assistance that they provide to the people of Myanmar goes to civil society organizations directly whenever possible, instead of through the junta.
The military says it took power lawfully and that it will hold elections after a year-long state of emergency. Protesters say that's not an outcome they're prepared to live with. The spectre of violence is once again hanging over Myanmar. The question is, will the international community intervene, or will the demonstrators be left to deal with the junta on their own? Natalie Pahanen, The Newsmakers.